Reverend Don Lewis, coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from Andreas Bryas. And Andreas Bryas has a follow-up question to our earlier vlogs on the subject of the end to the cycle of incarnation. And Andreas asks if I am saying that there is no way to learn all of one's lessons and end the cycle of incarnation in one lifetime. A point of salvation, if you would. And he does not mean to avoid the lessons, but rather to learn them all. So my answer to this is, first, if we accept that there is an end to the cycle of incarnation, then obviously some lifetime has to be the last lifetime. So no, I would not say that there can be no way for this to be your last lifetime in which you've learned all of your lessons. I'm just saying I think it's unlikely. And there is not a magic point of salvation or technique that will allow you to do this without doing the work. It's kind of like going to school. You can't graduate from high school when you're in the 3rd grade. It doesn't work that way. You first have to learn the things. But if you happen to be somewhere in the last year of high school, well, then graduation is obviously coming. We do eventually get there, and some life has to be that last life. And would you know? Well, I don't know that you would. I think in some ways it would probably be obvious, and in others it would not. Because I don't think that you've learned the lessons until you have in fact learned the lessons. And you'll be working on them up until that time. So it's not like you're going to be born in one lifetime knowing everything. You'll still be struggling with your lessons right up until you've learned them. And I do believe in the idea of Buddhahood, for want of a better way to put it, even though I come from a different religion, which is not identical in all of its ideas to Buddhism, but I do believe there comes a point when you reach a certain plateau of enlightenment and move on from this cycle of incarnation, that eventually we reunite with deity, whatever we want to consider that that means. I've always understood that it is not a loss of self, but an expansion of self, but that's a different vlog. I do believe we get there, and eventually you must come to that last life. But again, it's not a magic point of salvation. And how can you learn all those lessons? Well, you have to work at it. And the first and most important thing to do is to make up your mind you're going to focus yourself on doing it, and to do your shadow work, to do the work that addresses these things. And I think that you'll find that you will in the fullness of time get there. But rushing through the cycle of incarnation is not the point. We're not here by accident, and we're not here to be punished. We're here to experience the physical, we're here to perfect ourselves, we're here to work on certain things, and I believe we're also here to help to express spirit more fully in the physical realm. Because the physical realm is one of transformation. It is beneficial to be here. And to want to get out of it is to kind of miss the point. Eventually we do get out of it, but we get out of it when we come to that point, it has nothing more to offer to us, not just because we want to. And I think one is better served by learning how to make this life happier than by trying to get out of the cycle of incarnation. Learning how to manifest one's will more effectively in the physical, rather than trying to get out of the physical. And I'm a great believer that we do create the world we have, both in terms of our conscious actions and our unconscious actions. And a great deal of magic is learning to make those unconscious actions and that unconscious manifestation into a conscious manifestation. And I would say that is the thing that one really should be focusing on. And coincidentally, I think that also does move us much closer to the end of this particular cycle of incarnation, because it allows us to address those lessons much faster and much more strongly. Of course, that is a two-edged sword, because in addressing lessons there is both joy and sadness. But again, not a magic bullet. It really requires work, it requires effort, it requires learning the lessons. So, that would be my answer. I hope you find it helpful, and until next time, may you blessed be. Reverend Don, super omnibus of incantations and invocations for all occasions. Marianne Kay and I created this massive compendium of magic and artwork for you to use in any way that you would like. There are literally hundreds of spells and hundreds of illustrations, which can be mixed and matched and used in many different ways. Check it out now at witchghoulstore.com.